Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and in this video, I want to talk about death. The question being, do you fear death? Death is a part of life, and it's something that we often talk about in my videos and the videos of others. In fact, just recently, we were talking about when would you know it's time for someone to die instead of suffer? And it really brings to mind the question of whether or not preppers and survivalists are doing what they're doing because they fear death. Now, I like to think that I don't fear death. I fear suffering. But I don't fear the end of life. I'm unsure about my thoughts on what happens after we die, but I think that I'm pretty okay with most of what I think happens. But when you really get to thinking about it, it's something that we do avoid. It's instinctive to avoid the bad things for most of us. And I am interested in how many people are doing this because they don't want to die. Or how many people are doing this because they want to insulate their lifestyle from being degraded by world events or what have you. There are a lot of reasons that people become survivalists and preppers. And I don't necessarily think that the majority of the group are doing it because they're running from death. I don't think a lot of people think about death that much. But it is interesting to think because we often talk about combat or just situations like work, even chopping wood, things like that, where you will be injured. You will perhaps die from very simple, basic things. Any form of fighting could quickly and easily lead to death, and if you don't want to die, it's very unacceptable in a lot of situations that we talk about. And so we sort of need to mesh those two up because in a grid down collapse situation, nobody is expendable. Your group members are your family members. They're people you care about. They're people that you love. And I think that most people in this community would probably gladly die for the people that they love. And so perhaps, hopefully, have thought about that. I'm the only brother to 3 sisters, so I've thought extensively about self-sacrifice. And I like to think that when the day comes, when the moment comes, I will do what it takes without question or hesitation. It's not really something that you can ever know until you've been there. And obviously none of us have had to sacrifice our life for someone. Maybe some of you did something where you thought you were. I'd be very interested in hearing about that. But just a very interesting discussion topic to me because death is the final thing. It's a natural part of life, but it is something that if you sit there and think about it late at night, it's a deep hole to go down. So I'm curious what kinds of thoughts you guys have to share on the subject. As for myself, I don't want to die. I'd like to live a long and healthy and happy life. But again, the suffering, needless suffering, is what I seek to avoid, the degradation of my lifestyle. I think life is meant to be lived to its fullest. And part of the reason that I prep is to make sure that I'm not living too well now to my expense later, and also to make sure that my lifestyle is as good as I can reasonably hope for it to be at any point in my life. And that means right up to the end, whatever that end needs to be. Anyways, curious what your guys' thoughts are. Thanks for watching. Hope you're all doing well out there. Everybody stay safe.